On the growing edge.
And good morning, Ali Benjamin here, live from Farmington with the Growing Edge message. We come together there we go. We come together every Sunday to share our message of aliveness, of hope, of love, spiritual tools and practices to support you, me, us on this human journey. And boy, is this an amazing journey that we're on at the moment with all of the unrest, all of the sadness that we all feel because of what's going on in the Ukraine, in Russia, around the world. And so let's just take a moment of silence as we tune in to the peace that passes all understanding. Sending out love and peace from our hearts to the world. Thank you. So we know that we make a difference, that right where we are, even though we may be in our little corner of the playground, our home, feeling very isolated or disconnected from what's going on in the outer world and the unrest and the war, we are all a part of this one amazing human family. And we're all so similar in that we all really want peace. We want to be seen and loved and supported. We want to have an opportunity to love and find meaning and purpose in our lives and to support our family, our friends, and humanity in living in a world of peace and creativity and joy. And so I think at the core of all of us, all sentient beings, there is this desire and this longing to have peace and to experience love. And so when we're here in our little corner of the playground, our homes, and we think that we can't make a difference, we can. We can, and it's through our consciousness. It's through our remembering. And so we remember peace today. We remember love. And I'd like to start with a little activation, a little meditation. So if you will, please join me in a prayerful moment as you close the outer eyes and tune in to the constant presence of God, of infinite wisdom, of universal intelligence, whatever you call it, that thing that is greater, that is ineffable, unknowable, but yet at the very deepest dimensions of our being, we do know. We are a part of it. We are one in it, because there's only one thing happening. It's this thing called love. Love is in my mind. Love is in my heart. Love is in all of my affairs. And if you align with these words, let's say them together. There is only one. One love, one power, one presence. It is love. Love is in my mind. Love is in my heart. Love is in all of my experiences. Let's take a breath together, inhaling love and exhaling love. as we arrive today, trusting and knowing that love wants to reveal itself today. That love is revealing itself not only through the words I speak. Love is revealing itself in all of us. So we pay attention. We turn our gaze within. We turn our attention within. Because everything that we're seeking begins within. So we don't look outside of ourselves. We turn our gaze within. And we look for love. And we don't look with our physical eyes. We look with our spiritual eyes. We hear with our spiritual ears. And we know with our intuition. We know just because we know what love is and what that means to us and how it feels. And we simply align our energy and our attention, our focus to the love that is within, the love that we are. And by the recognition of this inner love, this inner light, this inner wisdom, just by the sheer recognition of it, we have an understanding, we have a desire to bring it out into our physical world. Get a sense of that now. That there's something that we call love. We've given that name to this ineffable feeling, this spiritual feeling, this God feeling, this universal soul feeling. We call it love, and we know that it wants to come out into the world by means of each one of us. This is our collective purpose here on earth. And so let's keep that front of mind. Let's keep that in our desire. And let love move us forward today. Let light illumine us from the inside out. And let joy guide us every step of the way. For this we are blessed, and our time together is blessed. We are all blessed in this sacred container of being prayerful and powerful. And so it is. Doesn't it feel good to come together and just take a break from the doingness, all of the busyness? I don't know about you, but I can really get distracted by doing, and keeping busy. And so every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, when I know it's time to come on, even when my surface mind, my ego mind, that protective part of my personality can have some hesitation, can have some nervousness. You know, I hear that inner voice, that critic or whatever, that says, you know, who are you to do this? But every Sunday, and I've done this for decades now, every Sunday I come and I show up and I just let it flow. And we all do that when we show up in a forum like this, in a spiritual community, with the intention of growth and learning and giving and serving. We suppress a little bit of that inner chatter that's not so positive, and we just show up anyway. And that's what I love about being able to come together today. Every Sunday, we just show up. We don't know what's going to happen, but I know, and if it's true for me, I know it's true for you. Something amazing always happens on Sunday mornings, when I just give myself over to this 30 minutes of the Growing Edge Live broadcast, something amazing happens. Something beautiful happens. And really, I get in tune with the love that I am. And I feel supported because all of you are doing the same thing. You're tuning in to what's important to you, what's most alive within you. And that is love. Love is kind, love is creative, love is strong, love is powerful. Love doesn't always say yes. Love sometimes says no. And so when we understand our true nature, when we understand ourselves as spiritual beings, having this amazing spiritual experience, some people call it a human experience. And yeah, it's a both and. Yeah, we're spiritual beings having a human experience, but we're really spiritual beings always having a spiritual experience. And we love to have a spiritual experience, right? You probably wouldn't be listening unless you're one of one of those people that like to have a spiritual experience. So we're here today to talk about being prayerful and being powerful. I found this quote by Mahatma Gandhi, which I found to be really moving, and I share it with you in a prayerful way that you may benefit from this. I'll post it in the comments. It goes like this: I offer you peace. I offer you love. I offer you friendship. I see your beauty. I hear your need. I feel your feelings. My wisdom flows from the highest source. I salute that source in you. Let us work together for unity and peace. Let us work together for unity and peace. We get to do that. And so I thought it would be really a good time to talk about prayer, because prayer isn't what we think. It's not what we've been taught in our religions, in our childhood. I don't think my notion of prayer and the metaphysical notion of prayer and the New Thought notion of prayer is what we were taught when we were little, or what's taught in main religions. Prayer is a coming into alignment with the fundamental order of the universe. Prayer is coming into alignment with who you really are. It's an unleashing of a power that's within all of us, an unleashing of this power into our lives so that we can live more peaceful and meaningful and loving and creative, joyful lives. This is what we hear about when we read an enlightened author or listen to a spiritual leader, a teacher, a guru. They talk about awakening. They talk about the real self. That's what we're talking about here today. Prayer is understanding the language that the universe understands, that God understands. Prayer is a way of using our words intentionally to bring into manifestation that which we want to be and that which we want to experience. So we start to identify with who we truly are as spiritual beings, that we are individualized expressions of God. And when we do this, we call this recognition and realization. We recognize the one power. We recognize that we're part of it. We recognize that there's one divine mind. And I used to think that that divine mind was in me. But really, I'm in the divine mind. You're in the mind of God. We live, breathe, and have our being in this field. And so it's a both and. divine mind or infinite intelligence is within me, but it's also I'm in it. We are in it. So we're part of this amazing mind. And when we become still, when we have what the gurus and the awakened masters define as or label as an awakening, we are aware of this divine intelligence within us, and we're able to anchor into that. We anchor into that intelligence. And then that surface part of our mind, our analytical part of our mind, our logical part of our mind, our ego mind, that protective part of our personality becomes, it's still there, but it kind of takes a back seat. And we, as heart-centered, awakened, wise, tuned into universal intelligence, have access to that divine mind that knows the greater truth. That knows the greater truth. The greater truth is that you are here as a physical being to fully embody these truths, that you are peace, that you are joy, that you are powerful, that you are love, that you are ultimately creative, that you have the capacity to create your own life, to create a life of joy and beauty, and that you have constant and steady access to everything that you need to know in order to live a life of great meaning, purpose, and joy. So that's waking up to who you really are. We have that awakening when we become present, when we become still, when we tune in, when we no longer give that surface mind the leader role. We, as a spiritual being, as a heart-centered being, begin to use the human mind or the physical brain as our servant. We become masters of our mind. And then in this elevated state, in this place of self-mastery, we learn a universal language, and we call it prayer. It's a language that we use in prayer. Prayer isn't something we do just when we go to church and sit in a pew and kneel on a cushion, put our hands together and utter words of begging and beseeching to some outer deity. Prayer is a movement of consciousness, a movement in consciousness that happens within us. And it's the language of prayer isn't so much as something that you hear, it's something that you feel. So you come into this feeling tone of love and joy and power and peace and everything, all those attributes we assign to God. We become aware of those words and the feelings that come from understanding those words. And so we move into grace. We allow grace to be our governing vibration. We have an understanding that it's through this, it's a turning around of our focus of attention from looking outside in the world and wanting things to be different out there to turning the gaze inside and knowing that it starts inside each of us. So we get a feeling tone of who we really are as spiritual beings. We get a sense of who we are as individual expressions of the divine, made in the image and likeness. And we identify with that. We ground into that. We absolutely know that we don't need to do anything out here. It's becoming completely present with your God self, with your spiritual self, tuning in to what's possible. And we begin to cultivate an inner language. And this language resides, I think of it, if you think of the chakra systems, you've got the root, the sacral, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the brow, and the crown. The prayer happens when we're focused in our heart chakra, when we've given the mind an invitation to sink down into our heart center. And when we do that, when the mind, when the ego, when the protective part of our personality is relaxed and just invited to be brought into the love that we are, into our heart center, there's a relaxing and a settling. And I think, and I feel this when I'm praying, that there's an opening into the matrix, into the divine consciousness, into God. There's an opening that occurs, and I feel it in my heart, and maybe you do. That's when I know I'm praying. In ancient scripture, it invites us to pray without ceasing. And this is what I think it's talking about. We begin to live a heart-centric life, and we begin to tune into the field, into the greater collective, into the matrix, into the God zone. And we know that we're plugged in because we feel an expansiveness in our hearts. We feel at one with everything. We feel so amazing when we're in this space. This is praying without ceasing. This is speaking the language of God. This is when we're here, then we're ready to claim truths. We're ready to utter. You can use our language, our words, our spoken word, or we can just feel it. We can have thoughts about it, but we state who we are and what we want. So we may say things that like, I am a beloved child of the universe. I know and trust that I have everything within me that is required to thrive. I allow everything that's within me that supports my creativity, that supports my right relationships, that supports my prosperity and abundance, I allow it to come forth. I release and relinquish anything that's got in the way of me being my most authentic and powerful spiritual self. And I allow this flow. I allow all the good that wants to be unleashed by means of me to just flow out into the world. So those are some examples of affirmative statements we can say when we're in this elevated, empowered state of feeling the God presence within us. This is a movement of consciousness. It's a movement in the field of what's real. This is what prayer is, and this is what you and me are designed to do. We're designed to be prayerful, mindful, turn within, and unleash these truths in ourselves and out into our world. So why do we do this? Why is this important? Because it's going to ensure that we have relationships that are heartfelt, that our relationships have a deep sense of meaning and value to us, that we connect with people in a most authentic way. And when we do this, things click into place. We're not trying to force something to happen. The universe seems to just unfold in more beautiful, magical, and meaningful ways when we're living in this heart-centered way. Our relationships change for the better. Our health changes for the better. Our creativity and all the things that we do in the world, our hobbies, our work, our career, our vocation, all of that seems to up-level. All of that seems to unfold more easily. Why? It's because we're awake and aware to who we are. And we're not so seduced into being so identified with everything else in the world. We no longer seem to try and seek approval or manipulate people to bend to our way of being. We're no longer trying to force people to behave in a certain way just because our ego wants that to happen. We're not trying to manipulate or create anything on the outside to be different than it is. We know that change begins within, and we just focus our energy and attention on ourselves, and in that everything changes. Everything changes. So that's those are my thoughts today. I can't believe it's 10:30 already. I don't know what happened. I was just downloading something special today to share here for all of us. So thank you for being here today. I'm going to do a quick activation. But before that, I want to say thank you to all of you that support us financially. Our ministry is a virtual ministry. We have an online presence. You can go to our website at growingedgelive.com. And if you'd like to help us give wings to our mission, which is to inspire hearts, heal hearts, transform lives, and inspire conscious evolution, you can offer a donation there or through Venmo at Satya Center. And we so appreciate your generosity, not just with your financial support, but your ongoing love and support of everything that we're doing. And we want to support you. We've got a team of prayer practitioners and conscious living coaches that want to support you in living your best life. And if we can support you, just know that we're here. Outreach to us, drop us a note or a comment below. So here we go. We can do an activation now. So let's tune in. Let's focus into our hearts. Let's turn our focus of attention within, and let's feel the presence of the universe, the presence of love, the presence of spirit right here, right now. There's nowhere to go, nothing to do other than be and feel the presence of the I am, the God self right here. And we tune into the divine matrix. We tune in and we catch the attention of the law of attraction. We become the cause in the effect, which is the body and the manifestation of the life that we're living. And we say, thank you. Thank you for all that I've been given. Thank you for the continuing blessings that abound in my life. Thank you for the constant evolution of my soul, always becoming more and never less. Thank you for the opportunities to grow. Even though some of them are challenging and difficult, I always rise to the occasion. If you align with these words, they are yours right now. I always rise to the occasion. I'm always supported. I am always guided. I am always directed. The pathway is made clear. So I open up to what wants to come forward into my life. I let love move me forward with everything I'm being and everything I'm doing. I let light illumine me from the inside out. And I let joy guide me every step of the way. I am here for love. I am here for joy. I'm here for passion. I'm here for play. I'm here for supporting. I'm here to be supported. I'm here for it all. Thank you, life. Thank you. And let's send a blessing out to everyone in the world. May everyone and everything be supported by this prayer today. In this we trust. In this we know there is only one. This one life. We're experiencing it. We're feeling it. We're unleashing it now. Thank you, life. Thank you. And so it is. Amen. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Peace and blessings. I'll see you next Sunday.